And here we have a new build. We're going to use the 275 Airflow Corsair case. Color is white. Okay. And then we're going to, for a motherboard, we're going to use the Gigabyte Z390. Okay. And on this, for a processor, we're going to go with the 9th Gen Core i7, the 9700K processor. And we're going to go with 32 gigs of Vengeance memory, DDR4. And we're also going to go with the SX8100, a 1 terabyte NVMe drive, hard drive. Then we're going to power this up with a RGB power supply by GameMax, 600 watt RGB. And then we're going to go with the Cooler Master, the Hyper 212 Evo cooler with a fan. And that's the build we're going to do today. First of all, we'll start with getting the board prepped. Leave any of this to the side. This will prep the board. We don't want all this sticky stuff to overheat. This is where we're going to mount the processor. Okay, this will be for the video card. We're going to put this is where the hard drive will go on the board. And so we'll get this all set up here. On the prepping the motherboard, getting it set up, went ahead and put the back plate on, and these nuts here. And on the other side, then we have our standoffs for our heat sink, our Hyper 212 Evo. Okay. install the i7 processor. Okay. There we go. It is the Intel i7 9700K. And let's get started with the socket. On this processor, if you notice, there's a little tiny arrow right here, and that's going to match up with the indentation on the board. As you can see, let's get this adjusted here. Right here is the corner. Just so it sits down in there. I have a couple of grooves on each side. Then we're going to close lid and lock it. Little bit of resistance. And that's our cover. And we're going to apply some thermo paste compound to the processor. Okay. Let's get ready to do that. We'll take the off here. To apply it, I put some Scotch tape so I can rub the compound without getting any oils or anything like that. And all we need is just either a size of a pea or a deal of rice. I'm gonna spread this around evenly. Make sure we cover the whole processor with no bare marks showing. There we go. Now we're going to apply the heat sink. A lot of people make a mistake because they have cooling problems because they don't take off the plastic here, which is pretty thick. This has to be removed before applying. This way it protects the bottom of the copper of this. I put this here for the standoff. Going to spread it a little bit. And we have a small hole, as you can see, that this is going to line up in. And we're going to tighten it down in a star fashion. So we're going to start. We'll start here. Always like to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Across from it. 1, 2. Get a line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just so it starts biting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Start again. We'll go 5. I'm going to go 5 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be getting pretty close. 1. Just so it's snug. And I'll just go around one time just to see that it's snug. And there we go. The next thing we're going to do to prep the board is we're going to install the RAM or the memory. This is dual channel. If you were going to fill all the slots up, it wouldn't matter about skipping, but they're dual channel. So on this particular board, and it'll say in the instruction manual which slots are dual channel. So we're going to go with a Vengeance. They are 16 gig per stick, a total of 32. We're just going to go ahead and now, I always start by the edge of the board for the first. It's pretty much where they are. It does have an indentation here, and it has to line up with the board right here. So we're going to gently set it in the socket. Then we're going to take a thumb on each side, and we're just going to push to hear that click. There we go. And that one's in there. Now we're going to go with our second. You want to avoid touching the pins. And looks like it's going to go this way. And just gently press. And that's locked in. So getting this board prepped. We pretty much got the processor heat sink on. We also have a fan that we're going to mount on this. Okay. Just for the cooling. And And the next thing to do to prop this board is we're going to go with the SATA hard drive. Okay, which is a NVMe 2. We're going to go with that. Okay. Now we're going to install the terabyte M.2 hard drive. We have a place here, and we also have a place here. So this is where we're gonna place it. Do some video cards that may have this will go in probably about an angle. There's a slot there, and just put it in there. It's kind of at a like a diving board, that sort of thing. And we're going to put the heat sink on this. And we'll just snug her down. And pretty much has our board prepped. We've got our hard drive. We've got our processor, the i7-9700K here with the heat sink. We have our RAM in place. So we're going to set this aside, and then we're going to prep the case, the desktop case. Here we're going to go ahead and get the case ready. We're going to prep the case. So let's get started. First of all, we're going to remove the glass side case. Actually, we'll take all the panels off so we can do some good cable management. Also, this is held by 4 screws. Then we'll carefully pick it up and move it out of the way. Then we're gonna turn the case over, and we're gonna take screws out of the back side. And we got only 2 holding the back panel in. 1 and this one. And what we're going to do is we'll end up putting the I/O shield here for the motherboard, and then down here we're going to go ahead and Put in the power supply, and then we can mount the motherboard. So let's get started on the prep. I'm going to go with the power supply. Each new case will have its box of parts. We're not even going to use these brackets. These were for the mechanical 3.5 drives we're not going to be using. And we're going to install the power supply. Cable ends that we're going to use. And the power supply. Now we got to prep the case. So we're going to go ahead and put the power supply in. And going to need the cords there. So we have to tighten that down. We're going to fasten the motherboard to the box. It's going to be approximately 9 screws. Mounted 3 at the top. All those screws are in. Cable management is last. Now we just have to mount the power supply, and should be in good shape. Well, that's it on the cabling on this new build. Some good cable management. So everything tied off. The back, which also has the dual Wi-Fi, and inside, I really like this motherboard. It's that Gigabyte Z390 Wi-Fi, Pro Wi-Fi. It's pretty awesome. Some of the cable management inside. Then we'll get all the sides put on it.